that before we went live, but fuck it. That's what this show's all about. All right, you ready to start this?
I'm ready to start this adventure.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you the finest of Batman, Superman, and friends in pop culture. I am Josh from BatYard Productions, and I'm gathered here today with my co-host, as always, whenever we talk about a pop culture event. Yep. Would you like to introduce yourself?
No, I'm Mateo. What's going on, everybody?
So, Matt, is there anything we would like to discuss before we jump into the podcast itself? Any like tidbits of news? Anything that's come up in your life that you want to kind of dive into?
Not at the moment. Right now, I know BSBS with the whole DC stuff right now.
So the only thing I want to bring up is the Snyder Cut release date has been brought to my attention that it's being initially released on March 18th, 2021, which is literally next month. I was at the pre-notion that it was going to be released in September.
So that was the last time I knew.
Yeah, so they brought it close on a closer date, much closer date than September, which I was actually kind of banking on it being released in September for many variety of reasons. I don't really want to go into it right now. But yeah, so it's being released next month, the 18th on HBO Max, and I guess it'll be on theaters simultaneously at the same time. I guess fucking Jared Leto is going to be in it. I don't know if he was part of the original vision that Snyder had. I don't really know much about this, other than it's being released pretty soon.
I just don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 4-hour movie, right? Supposedly. Like 3 hours.
It's supposed to be like a 4-hour movie. At first, they're speculating to become like a miniseries, like set up in parts.
Yeah.
Be released that way. But they're just kind of shotgunning it all at once, and it's just going to be one big typhoon of a film.
It still doesn't make sense why they are doing that, because like it's a hassle just sitting in a movie theater for over 3 hours to almost 3 hours worth of watching. So why make everyone that's in a movie theater sit there for 4 hours and watch this whole movie?
I don't know.
It's easier for at the house. If you're at the house and you watch on HBO Max,
watching it at all.
You can watch on HBO Max. You can pause it, come back to it every day. You can watch an hour. You can make your mini series that way. But it just doesn't make any sense for the moviegoers.
You're much better off watching this at home. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be watching on HBO Max, which we both have. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. We can only tell you how we feel about it once it's released. Our initial thoughts on the first Justice League. Mine is it's fine. It's okay. It's not the worst thing I've seen. Superman smiled at least, so that made me feel good.
But it was freaking a weird smile.
Yeah, the Grinch smile, but at least he emoted.
How was it? His mustache removal smile, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
That one?
Yeah, that cost
the one that made you cringe?
$8 million probably to remove a mustache.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not here to discuss the Snyder Cut right now.
No.
We are here to discuss what was the short.
The short is called Batman Strange Days,
right?
It's a 75-year anniversary short that they made.
Yeah, back in 2014. So this is already 8 years old. Yeah. So Batman is now 81 or 82 years old. Time of this initial recording in 2021. So yeah, you take it away to discuss the Batman Strange Days, Bruce Timm, Batman 75th anniversary short.
Yeah, so this short's about Hugo Strange ends up kidnapping some damsel in distress and is willing to. I think he was going to do like some science projects too, and Batman ends up coming in, flying in on a plane, an old World War II fighter jet, and ruining the whole plan, and ends up having to fight Hugo Strange and this creature that has the damsel in distress captured.
Yeah, the creature's like reminiscent of Solomon Grundy, but it's not Solomon Grundy.
No,
I think
it's not
just like
Solomon Grundy. I kept on like debating. It's just like another
yeah.
like form of Solomon Grundy, but at the same time, it's just like it's not him. And
Yeah,
if you look up anything on it, it just says creature.
mhm.
And creature has a freaking cast listing. Bruce Timm plays creature. Hugo Strange.
Oh, was he just doing like the monster grunts and stuff? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Then Hugo Strange is actually Brian George who plays the voice.
Brian George. I haven't heard of that voice actor.
Brian George.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him.
He kind of is. He reminds me of some people. He was actually in The Killing Joke. Actually,
What did he play in that?
hold on, give me a second. Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He played Alfred.
Okay.
And then
What about in The Killing Joke?
I'm going down to see if he's on the. Where is it on the list? Because he has a list of everything here. That's Strange Days. Killing Joke. Why did it not come up as where? Killing Joke came out when?
I don't know, 2015, something like that.
It's 16, so should have not passed it yet. Oh, here it is. He's Alfred again in it. So it looks like he's well known for Alfred, mostly.
Oh, okay. I don't really remember Alfred in
Killing
The
Joke.
Killing Joke, to be honest. I don't even think he even showed up in the original comic book. Because there's a lot of BS that they added, no pun intended, to The Killing Joke. It was just like a lot of hollow material that they just kind of added to, add padding to the story. Yeah, basically it was just padding.
And then we got Kevin Conroy as Batman's voice.
Yes, which was probably the easiest paycheck for Kevin Conroy because he literally says one line. I think he says, "Not for now." That's what he says. He says for now. That's all he says.
I think he has to do some grunts, maybe, but that's really the easiest thing he probably had to do.
So basically, he saves his damsel in distress from a falling cliff where Hugo Strange is holding her at knife point. He gets deterred from Batman. He's backing up away from him. He's pretty scared of this creature of the night. Well, what that he knows what he is. So then he falls off in the cliff into the caverns to his death. When Batman saves this I don't know, this model looking woman from the clutches.
Labeled as woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's voice actor is Tara Strong.
Oh, Tara Strong. Okay, yeah, she does Batgirl and Harley Quinn for.
So this is another easy paycheck for
Tara Strong does a bunch of voices. Tara Strong also does the voice of Timmy Turner. So
does she?
She does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh God.
I gotta say the animation. This is very short. You could watch this. It's only it's less than 3 minutes, so it's just
3 minutes. Anywhere it just says it's 3 minutes.
It's just a breeze to watch. I mean, the animation is obviously the best part of it. It's breathtaking. It looks very reminiscent of Batman and animated series.
Yes.
But it looks like they kind of combined Batman and animated series from the original series and the reamped New Adventures, and they kind of blended it together, but made it more of the era of the 1939 Batman. So it's obviously, it basically looks like it's pulled out of the comics from 1939 with Bruce Timm's animation.
That was the idea supposedly behind it.
Hmm.
that they wanted to make it like it was in 19. They wanted to make it take place in 1939. So that's why they even made it in black and white.
Yeah, that and it has that title card at the end, and it says the end, like that classic Warner Brothers title
Yep.
card, like at the end of all these old films. I love the animation. To be honest, I kind of wish this was a full-fledged series that they just went all the way with, like,
Well,
simplifying the Batman and just kind of putting him in, the era of the 30s. I think that would be very interesting. And we haven't really
there's like
seen.
a bunch of other 75th anniversary videos out there. There's one that's Batman Beyond. There's another
Yeah,
other one.
yeah. I know
I
there's a
just
bunch of
watched
them. They're
Batman
all.
Beyond, but it looks like it's an episode though. It's part like
I know.
out of a strip of an episode.
No, it's definitely that was a new animation that they made.
Oh, but no, like it looks like it. The way it starts off is kind of weird. It just
Well,
like
it's still Bruce Timm. Bruce
yeah.
Timm made both. That one was pretty fun. They're both only a couple minutes long. This one's probably my favorite out of those two,
Mhm.
just because of the era and the atmosphere it kind of builds, and I love that old sepia tone grain that it puts on to the film stock. It definitely looks like of the time. There's not much of a story, obviously. It's just kind of like Batman saves damsel in distress from a monster and a mad scientist, Hugo Strange. But that's kind of all Batman was back in the like late
Really,
30s,
really
early golden age. I mean, the only thing is with the black and white colorization, you don't get to see that Batman's wearing purple gloves, um, because in the very first issues of Batman, he had purple gloves. And it's just a neat little tidbit, but it's fine. Obviously, I do enjoy the black and white sepia tone that they chose, and it's just it's just a funny thing to point out. But I would love if this was a whole series, if they just went full force with Batman of this era. But they did that. They basically did that with Batman the animated series. It was like Batman the animated series was set in the 40s and the present day at the same time, but it was more like felt like it was like you know it was like a present past, when Superman the animated series felt like a future present, if that makes any sense.
no, it does make sense. It's kind of weird. It's a weird way, but it works. I remember watching. I didn't watch Superman animated series really, but
Yeah.
we were supposed to do when we were doing the Batman Superman crossover with the animated series,
Oh yeah.
and that's what really I really saw the show that more like way more. So I'm like, this is like the way you're describing it. It's like, yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, we'll have to do another episode of Superman the animated series pretty soon, because the only one we did was Monkey Fun officially on the show. The one that we did with the world's finest was lost. I don't want to get into why, but we'll definitely have to do that whole
You can
arc
do it again
again.
sometime.
We'll have to, because it's one of the best Batman Superman mediums that ever were released, and I think it's going to be the best storyline we're going to get.
Yeah, if no, was it Zack Snyder went off of that story arc for the Batman versus Superman thing? That would have been awesome if he did, but he didn't try to even look at that. It feels like it didn't try
Yeah,
that
it
one.
would have been a little bit more interesting. He kind of took story elements from the Dark Knight Returns, which
Mhm.
no, yeah, Dark Knight Returns. It would have been, which is an interesting book, but I wouldn't say I kind of put that story as like an Elseworld story more than like actual canon for Batman and Superman. Kind of like how I kind of categorize that as like a Elseworlds, like I do with Red Sun Superman. Like that's a fun storyline, but it's not like main canon Batman and
Yeah.
Superman. But you could take elements from that story and make it work, and I don't think it does. I never seen the full Batman versus Superman the extended cut. I fast forward through the parts I already seen and just watched the extra scenes, and it just seemed like more of the same boring movie that I already saw, but just more of it. I know Jesse, my buddy, yeah, just more of the movie that you don't like, just more of it. So it's just like prolongs its stay. That's already long enough. My friend Jesse, he's a big advocate for the extended cut. He always wants me to watch it, and I always kind of sway the other way, like let's watch something else. And the only way I would watch it is for the show. So maybe we'll get Jesse on the show for the extended cut.
And we discuss how much we hate it. Meanwhile, he defends it.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. There's a lot of Snyder fans out there, obviously, because the Snyder Cut's coming out. I'm not a very big advocate for Zack Snyder. I love his visuals. I love his DP work. I love his direction with how he films these movies, but I don't like the story. I think he should be the DP, not the director, and the almighty seer of this franchise, because it's like no one knows what's going on with it. Wonder Woman's kind of seems like it's like loose cannon. It's kind of tied with it. Obviously, they have Gal Gadot or whatever, but it's just kind of mostly Wonder Woman 84, because Wonder Woman 84 just kind of seems like it's loosely connected, but not really. It doesn't. Because they discuss in Justice League how she hasn't had a presence since World War II, and obviously she saved the whole world in 84. So that timeline just doesn't connect at all.
It doesn't make like like you bringing that up actually. That actually makes. Like Wonder Woman's like movies are not really. Like the second movie is not really how you per se like canon wise to the series.
Yeah, it's like loose canon
universe that you. Yeah, that's just if she was saving the world during this time. Here's a movie. Now,
right, and the whole arc between Bruce and Diana for Justice League, at least the one we saw, was that she never had a presence. She never basically inspired hope into the public like Superman did, and that's why Bruce Wayne was such an advocate for getting Clark back, because he's like, oh, we need Superman, blah blah blah. And he had this whole back and forth with Diana at one point. I don't know if that's connected with the Snyder Cut. I don't know what the fuck's canon anymore. I don't think DC knows. So how is an average going movie audience going to know what's connected? It's just such a haphazard clusterfuck,
Doesn't matter, because they just want us to go see a movie. They get the paycheck. They say, we did it. Basically how it feels.
Yeah, and that's it.
Unless you have a true fan actually writing and filming the movie, you're not going to get it. Supposedly the director for the Wonder Woman movies, supposedly she was
Patty Jenkins.
What?
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah. Supposedly she's a super fan. Plus, she hired on the first movie. She hired a bunch of stage workers that actually were fans of Wonder Woman, so they would give her feedback throughout the movie too. Supposedly,
yeah.
So it seemed what happened with that one.
Well, it seemed like with the second one, I know we talked about Wonder Woman 84 in the previous podcast, but there's so much to dissect with this movie that we could just keep going back to this, and we'll have something new to talk about it.
Sure.
But the thing I want to say is with Wonder Woman 84, Patty Jenkins co-wrote it, and she didn't write the first script. So I think that was a big, big reason why that it was just kind of haphazard and didn't make any sense. And plus, since she directed the first one, I think it was kind of like a George Lucas effect where she was surrounded by a bunch of yes men for the sequel, because she's like, oh, she can handle the first movie. Let's just give her free reign, and then you see what happens when she gets free reign. It's just nonsense. So I think that's why.
I want to jump back to the short. There was one thing I did like about that short was when he comes in and he comes in after defeating the creature, and he walks up to Hugo Strange on the cliff, and he's just a silhouette. His eye.
Oh yeah, with the fog. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I love that. That was like classic Batman. Yeah, I love the atmosphere of it.
Wait, what?
I love the atmosphere of the whole thing. But what were you saying?
Then the ending part kind of threw me off. Him letting Hugo die. It felt a little like I feel like Batman would have tried, and then like in the animated series, he would try to save Hugo a little bit.
That's the beauty of it. Batman in the 30s fucking killed people. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Batman in the 30s, he would take his bat plane, the plane that you saw in the movie, Hi Cat.
I know.
um
I do.
that plane, he's like interrogating one of like the, I don't know, some crime lord or some goon. It was just some random street thug, and he's trying to interrogate them by having like a noose around their neck and hanging them from the bat plane, and like basically saying like, if you don't tell me the information I want to know, I'm gonna kill you, and you're by with this noose. And then he gets the information from, he tells Batman the information, and he fucking kills him anyway. So that's Batman of the 30s. So making him die like that was totally what he would do at that time period.
Oh, I'm so used to like I didn't think the Batman past Adam West. So like really at that time, Batman wasn't killing until like later on they started doing, I think in the Batman Returns, he does like a little bit more brutal shit than usual.
Yeah, Batman Returns and Batman '89, he does kill people. But it was kind of like secondhand killing. It wasn't like, I don't know, first degree.
Yeah. Accidental falls.
Yeah, exactly. Like he would like let someone fall off, basically like he did with Hugo Strange. So it was kind of the same kind of point at that. But yeah, no, I do want to dive into the original Batman comic books from the 1930s, early 1940s with
Well, they
Bob.
probably have something like what you have for the Superman like comics.
Yeah, I do have the original Superman comics. Well, it was like all on the collection. I don't have the actual original Superman comic books, or I would be a millionaire right now. Yeah, but it's like a collection like that. So I've been reading those. Those have been a lot of fun. It's showing a much more harder side to Superman that I'm used to, but it's fun. It's a fun time. Because Superman is just, he'll use his brute strength just to scare the shit out of people. He didn't care. Like how Batman interrogated people, like he would like, hold them over like an edge of a building. Superman will like fucking like fly up with people and like say he's gonna do like to like drop them off of the end of the world or something, and he's like, it was just that to like the nth degree, and that's what I really enjoyed. Yeah, but it was before
you shit yourself and get information from you.
It was before Superman could fly, so he's just like basically leaping around with characters. Yeah.
So just imagine a frog just picking you up and just with you into space.
Well, yeah, that was with the original Superman comic books. Superman was just kind of like an elevated human. Like he was that's why he was Superman, because he could do everything a person could do, but just better. That's why he could just jump. He could run fast. He was stronger. His skin was impenetrable, but he was
flawless, moist, however.
Yeah. But it wasn't like Superman was a godlike, but that's what gets lost, I think, for me and a lot of people who enjoy the character of Superman. Once they make him like a god figure, that's where it kind of, it gets lost in the sauce. I think that gets too much. So the more simplified the character is, the more interesting the character is.
That's why I think I don't like Superman as much as you do. It's because I was just thrown around with like Superman this, Superman that. He can do whatever he can, like all that crap, and like
does whatever.
I never seen the original shit until more recently.
Yeah,
and it's so much interesting and easier, and like you can see that he has struggles and has issues, and he has to deal with it more than what we grew up. He's just like, I'm Superman. I am bulletproof. I can do this. I can pick you up. I brought you to space.
Well, I think to understand Superman, you gotta see him through the course of all decades to really understand the character. Because I could see if people like just saw, Superman of today, like New 52, to like Henry Cavill, it's just this arrogant guy who's not really charismatic, you know, and he's just kind of like, oh, I'm Superman, I can do whatever. You know, that kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth. Or you go, all right, well, fuck this guy. That's kind of how I feel about when I watch, you know, Man of Steel and that kind of stuff.
Well,
You
I
know,
didn't like how
he needs a little more lighthearted. You know, Superman is inherently silly, and they have to embrace that. You know, like how they did with the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. You know, like it's full on camp, or even with perfect prime example, Superman the movie. You know, the 1978 movie. That's like a classic. That's how you handle Superman. You know. You got to have fun with the character. It can't be this wholehearted, serious, like alien invasion thing. That's when it gets lost and it doesn't stay true to what the character is. It's just like this whole bombastic thing, and you're like, okay, this is too complicated. It's too complex for this simple story. Why complicate something that's so purely simple and, you know, just perfect how it is? You know,
because people want to make it theirs and their own original thoughts of it. What they
yeah,
think that
they make it worse.
it should be.
You know, I kind of want them to like they did with this Batman. Sure, even though it's only 3 minutes long, I want them to kind of pull back a little bit on Superman. They've been kind of like pushing him off the edge. I want them to kind of get the reins a little bit, pull it back, and I would like to see Superman set in the 1930s, early 1940s, basically have the power skills that he had back then and have it being a time period piece where Superman's trying to figure out the world while the Great Depression's going on and while World War II is on the break of you know, on a global scale. So I think that would be a very interesting movie if they just made it a period piece and just kind of simplified it and just made it the essence of the character, you know, like just pure and simple. I would be very interested in that movie. I don't know about a lot of people. I think, like I said, the more simple you do, and placing Superman in a more simple time than today, would kind of, I don't know. I think it would rejuvenate a lot of people's interest in that character.
Would this be like an animated movie, or would you want a live action?
Well, I wouldn't mind like a animated like short or movie, but if I would rather see a live action film.
Because like if we go off of live action, let's say they start making this now. They start taking this idea, it's already in production. They don't use like you didn't know about it. They were just doing the idea already. You know what confusion it would be like if it dropped next year on HBO Max and like everyone's gonna be like, this Superman movie is based in World War II. What's this?
Well, I wouldn't even want it to be set during World War II. I want it to be set literally right when the comic book came out. So that would be 1938. So that's literally a couple years before the war is even happening. But it's like the world is like rotating and like becoming influenced by the progression of the war are starting to happen, but it's not in full effect. The gears are just starting to turn, you know.
Like all the things are falling in place, and the war is about to break.
Yes, yeah, and we need to see Superman like helping out like more common folk and like smaller problems than this big catastrophic things. We need to see Superman helping someone with their car who broke down on the side of the road, or like even in Superman the movie, he helps
a little broken. And it's go to AutoZone quick. Give me 1 second, be back in a jiffy.
That's why I think the Superman movie is like almost perfect in how they portray him. I mean, like they make Superman fucking ultimately powerful and strong in that movie. Like that was probably one of the strongest interpretations of Superman ever, because he could change the stream of time, you know, in that film. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it showed Superman, you know, he would be helping out with smaller problems. Like even after he was facing off all these goons who are being chased by the police, he would save cats out of trees and return them to the owners, like the little girl, you know, like just like smaller problems. And the lesson, the contrast with that, okay, so the contrast with Superman the movie and versus Man of Steel. Perfect example, death of Jonathan Kent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man of Steel, Jonathan Kent runs out towards a tornado to save a dog, where Clark Kent could have easily gotten the dog without anyone noticing or showing that he had superpowers. But he sacrificed himself blatantly, basically for no reason. Just to, he just killed himself. Superman the movie. Jonathan Kent has a heart attack, and it teaches Clark that with all this immense powers, he can't save everyone because people outlive their life. People are,
we're disposable.
There's some things, I wouldn't say disposable. I'm just saying there's some things that even Superman can't effectively. He can't save everyone, and that's the lesson that Clark learns. What does he learn in Man of Steel? Nothing. He doesn't learn anything. What does he learn from that?
The thing is that I liked about the original movies, the original movies, like the 4 movies, they didn't find an actor that looked like he was like a muscle builder or anything.
Yeah.
They said, you look like a good actor. You can fit the role. You were kind of built. Let's throw you.
Yeah, David Prowse, who was the guy in the costume for Darth Vader, he was actually the trainer for Christopher Reeve to bulk up.
Really?
Yeah. So he trained Christopher Reeve to bulk up for the role of Superman. And once you actually see Chris Reeve like working out, I seen like some pictures and stuff of his exercise routine. He's actually bigger than that. Like I initially, kind of thought. But he had like the body of a swimmer. He looked like an athletic swimmer, which is I think is the perfect body built for Superman because like he's if you're gonna be like. He's basically like swimming through the air. He has an aerodynamic body. So I think that's a perfect built for that type of character. Like he doesn't need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's freaking Superman. He's just
that. Oh my God, Arnold as like early Arnold, like still doing.
That would have been terrible. Well, they almost got
scary.
I could see Arnold as like a villain or something. That would be pretty.
Well, he was a villain at one point. But
well, no, yeah, not Arnold. I mean, if he was like a Superman villain, I don't know what villain he could have been. Yeah, maybe Well, Terrence Stamp was a great Zod. I don't know what Arnold could have been like. Maybe like I don't know, like Darkseid's son. I forget his name. Something like that. Some.
I would still take him serious in that.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just how it's his voice. I can't take it serious. As much as I love him in all of his movies, it's just like his accent just doesn't portray him seriously sometimes for me.
No, well, obviously he's Arnold. Yeah. That's the whole thing of it. That's the whole charm of him. But I would much appreciate if they kind of took a step back with Superman, which is my whole point. Is just kind of dial back a little bit, simplify it, kind of. We're like this close to Superman right now. We need to freaking zoom out a little bit and get the full scale of see what this character is actually about. Like when we're this close, we can't see anything. We're just like, oh my God, what the fuck? We need to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if you have any final thoughts about Batman.
No final thoughts. Let's jump into our main course of.
Yeah, I know. We kind of went on a whole tangent there, but that's definitely that's totally a Superman movie. I want to see. I want to see Superman at its purest form. And I think that would be. I think making a period piece set in a simpler time would definitely be optimal for that. So Matt, do you want to introduce this movie or am I introducing this?
This is your pick. This is your thing. You take ahead, take the reins on this.
Okay. So, is it Batman and Bill or Bill and Batman?
It is Batman and Bill.
Batman and Bill. Okay.
2007. 2017.
So Batman and Bill is a documentary that premiered on Hulu May 6, 2017. So it's already over 4 years old at this point. It explores how the creation of Batman, who at that point was known to be solely created by Bob Kane, actually the discovery of how there was a co-creator, Bill Finger, who never got credit for creating Batman and the mythos that came with the Batman character. So Batman, Bob Kane got sole full credit when he died in 1998. He basically took that the story that he created Batman by himself to the grave without telling anyone, while his friend Bill Finger, co-creator of Batman, died penniless in with eviction notices on his freaking apartment, penniless, died alone with nothing and no recognition.
He still had a family when this was happening. He ended up having a son, and they had to raise him with no money. So that's kind of fucked up in the midst.
So yeah, so he knew Bob Kane knew that Bill Finger wasn't getting any credit, basically getting no money for it, and Bob Kane wanted to be this attention seeker, to be a famous person, just to be known for creating Batman, and he thought the best way to do that was just be sole creator of Batman. And he went so many years without telling anyone about Bill Finger that, you know, it was almost a detriment to his ego if he explored the circumstance that he actually didn't solely create Batman, but he did it with his co-creator Bill Finger back in '39 when Batman was first released. So him and Bill Finger co-inspired to create the creation of Batman. Bob Kane would bring the idea to DC Comics, and he just told DC, "I made this," you know, and he would keep going to Bill Finger for the ideas, like the write out the stories, because he had literally nothing.
Well, supposedly that documentary stated that Bob would try to like made a deal with Bill. He's like, "I'm gonna be the one that's actually labeled as the owner of it." Do that. I made the like contacts with the DC at the time, and I'll give you half of the profit that I'll make from them to you, and whatever that agreement fell happened. It was weird. He like did like a weird like side agreement with Bill. It didn't look right.
But at the time,
it should have been a red flag for him.
Yeah, yeah, of course. But he was like a young kid at that point. He probably just cared about getting paid. But until 1965, which was the first comic book convention to be held ever, was held in New York City. Michael Uslan, I think I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but Michael Uslan, he's known as the executive producer for basically every Batman movie that ever came out. He was at the convention, and he was approached by one of the people producing the whole comic book convention, saying, "Oh, do you want to meet the creator of Batman?" So that him and his friends are expecting to meet Bob Kane. You know, that's the only name that came up on all the comic books and all this. Instead, he met Bill Finger. So that was the first introduction, first public appearance of Bill Finger talking about that he was the co-creator of Batman. And then after that, the news and word came out that, Bill Finger made Batman with Bob Kane. And then after that fact, it trickled down to Bob, who basically discredited everything that Bill Finger did in the newspaper. So that would have been the time to shine light on the contributions that the Bill Finger had created for the Batman mythos. Which, if you're wondering what Bill Finger created for Batman, he created the costume, he created the cowl, he created the backstory of how Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered in front of him. That's why he wanted to get a vengeance against the crime of the underworld of Gotham City. He co-created Joker. He created Robin. He created the Batcave. He created Batmobile. Basically, any
early villain that happened in that series, he created. Basically.
All the essence of Batman,
Scarecrow, Penguin, and
all the backbone. Every building block of Batman, he built. You know, all the whole structure of everything, basically.
Yeah, and if you go back to Bob Kane's freaking the early design, It
looks
looked like
terrible.
the person that should be fighting in the night in this kind of costume that he had. Okay, we get it. Daredevil did it this style too, but it's weird. But Josh is trying to pull it up right now. He just put it up. It's
Yeah,
a
this
red
is
suit,
it.
a yellow mask top, and didn't he have like a weird like
He
Robin
has,
style
he
mask?
has blonde hair. He has
That's
a
blonde hair. Oh yeah, it is.
domino mask, which is the same setup that Robin had for a mask. He had like Da Vinci-esque wings, which were just like solid wings that were attached to his back. It wasn't a flowing cape, which wouldn't be practical. Yeah, it's basically a Birdman. So once you look at the design of the costume, it just doesn't look anything like a bat. It's a red man with black undies and bat wings, which wouldn't be scary at all.
He's supposed to be. It's more like a demon or like a devilish kind of character, if you look at it in a way. But at the same time, it doesn't flow right to see this come through anything. And those wings will fuck up everything. How would he go through a window with those wings?
I don't know. Imagine like if he
come in, slap,
and his wings like broke off, and then he came in. He had no wings on.
He has to hit a button. They fall off, and he enters the door like, "What's up?"
So I also found, if you could still see my screen, I also found this comic book strip that I'm not sure who the creator is. If we'll shout him out.
If we had created Batman
without
Bill Finger.
Yeah, Bob Kane created Batman without Bill Finger. So basically, it's with the Batman in the red unitards. What do I do? Oh, that looks like a bad guy. Time to get into action. And he kicks the bad guy. Ow. Say, that was easy. And then the bad guy says, grr, time to go to jail. And then the Bob Kane Batman says, I caught the crook. What's with the wings, Pally? I lifted them off a sketch by Leonardo da Vinci. Beyond that, I don't know. Hey, can you help me? Is there some sort of commissioner of police I could talk to? Not in this comic. Are there any other imaginative and colorful villains that need to be capturing? Nope. Well, then I guess I'll go home. I wish I had a car. Next of all Bob Kane's other ideas. So
oh my gosh.
That's the whole thing. And I think that's basically the whole thing in a nutshell, what Bob Kane contributed to Batman. Which is like nothing. That's I couldn't put it better than myself than that comic book strip. So Matt, so I knew this information going back. Basically the protagonist of this documentary, his name is Mark Tyler Nobleman, who's been pursuing this project since at least before 2007. So once he was discussing MySpace, that's how old this is. It's older than that. So it's before 2007 when he just started this journey. He was a story novelist. He created a picture book called The Creators of Superman, Boys of Steel, which I actually do own. I don't have it with me. It was funny when I was watching the documentary and I saw that book. I was like, oh, I have that. I was like, oh, that's the guy. I first heard about this story when I was listening to Fat Man on Batman with Kevin Smith's podcast. He was interviewing Mark Tyler. And he was at that point in time, Bill Finger didn't get the recognition that he deserved. He was still actively trying to put it in the limelight. So like people from the public would understand the story and the struggles that he's going through. That's how I first heard about it. So Matt, what are your thoughts on this documentary, and how did you hear about Bill Finger?
Well, hearing about Bill Finger was from you, actually. Like a couple weeks back, we're discussing things. Let's discuss the next podcast. All right. Hey, you should check out this video I watched. It's a documentary about how Batman was made with this guy named Bill Finger. It's called Batman and Bill. And I said I laughed because you have an Uncle Bill, and we were joking about that.
Yeah.
We ended up talking. He's like, not my uncle, but whatever. But we end up watching it, and like it was really strange, like seeing how like secretive that Bob Kane was trying to keep Bill out of the picture. Like, how do you do that to like it in the and like the documentary describes like Bill Finger as like an actual like close friend. That he
Yeah,
was like, actually like they're friends before like he asked for help. Like, how do you do that to somebody that you've been friends with for so long, and just like go like a few years, like your whole life without giving that friend limelight of what he created with?
any recognition whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's
like
insane.
it's just horrible. Like drag a friend down to floor level and watch him rot while you're skyrocketing further and further off of something you both made.
Yeah, while he's
So,
probably making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, off the creation of Batman, while Bill Finger's getting no money whatsoever, no recognition whatsoever, is basically struggling to survive, having eviction notices going through placed on his apartment door, and to die alone. It's
yeah,
a heartbreaking
and
story.
struggling to take care of his family and everyone else that he had in his life.
It's a very upset. It's very upsetting, but like this documentary made me appreciate what Mark Tyler was
Yeah,
trying to pursue, and it actually, it made me root for him and his cause, and for him to go through all this trouble just to figure out, did Bob, did Bill Finger have any heirs? Did he have anyone? He had a
he
son.
went through so much. Shit, this is before like Ancestor.com came out or any of that. This man was digging for like everything. He was going through all kinds of shit to figure out. He said he was bringing out old like telephone books from like that time when he was alive and all that stuff, trying to figure out where he lived, actual people like that was related to him or his wife at the time to see where it dwindled down to see where the next heir is. It was like this man is crazy with his detective skills on this.
Yeah, he went full force Batman.
He was determined
On
for
this.
Bill to get these rights, even though he's passed away now. He still was like it's a little like now his family is getting the recognition and like being noticed now for it. Like
Yeah,
it would have been nice to actually like if Bill did live until like if the documentary happened earlier and Bill lived a little bit longer of the like in time for his time,
yeah,
it'd be amazing to see like a video or photo of him actually getting the acceptance of the
yeah.
co-creating. It would have been
Exactly.
amazing to see it.
That would be really cool if he actually saw his name on screen, like as co-creator of Batman. The closest thing that he got to that was when he was a writer on the '66 Batman, where
Mm-hmm.
he got top billing for writer of that one episode, and the episode was "The Clock King's Crazy Crimes," which was co-written by Bill Finger. And I think it was a two-part episode. The next episode is Clock King gets crowned. We'll have to watch that. I'm very curious into
I was
watching
thinking
those
just now after
episodes.
you said that, like, what we just watched, I think we should pay him a little more respect by watching these videos that he
Yeah,
has.
I completely agree. After like I wrote those down because I was like, oh, we gotta watch those. We gotta we gotta see Bill Finger's actual writing into practice on film and on screen. I think it would be immensely, a disservice not to see what he came up with for the original Batman '66 series. Um, yeah, his Bill Finger had a son named Fred Finger. Uh, while Mark Tyler was going through this research, he found out that his son was gay, so he thought that was the dead end. That's all there is. There's nothing he can do about it to
Yeah.
get the recognition. But then he found out that Fred had a daughter named Athena Finger, and how he found her was on MySpace. And there's no pictures of her, but there's a picture of her dog, and her dog's name was Bruce Wayne. And then that's when he realized he came to the epiphany that this is
Oh,
the granddaughter of Bill Finger.
don't forget, like he went through like the wives. Bill
He went
died
through a lot more people before that.
like her cousin, like her sister's kids, and he called up called them up, and they're like super surprised this guy's calling for their Uncle Bill, and they're like, no one asks about him, no one that knows anything about Bill. Bill is basically to them, they know everything about Bill, but like everything around them is just like nothing. They can't, no one cared. So they were actually super shocked, and they gave him the information to find her.
But yeah,
Like that's her name. This is her name, and like we don't know where she is in general, but
this is how
you should
she
try
got
social media.
who she got married to. Yeah, and then he found her on MySpace with Bruce Wayne, her dog. Um, and then he pursued her, met her. I think she was in Florida or somewhere. Pursued her, basically saying, "This is your family right that you guys get recognition, that your family gets recognition for your grandfather, that he was the creator of Batman." And it was just like such a dark cloud hanging over this family that they didn't want to bring up the heartbreak of this burden again. They just kind of pass it off like, all right, well, it'll never happen. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. Warner Brothers owns the rights to Batman. Let's just let it go. Until Mark Tyler came into the picture and basically kept nagging at Athena, saying, "This is your family right. You have to do something." And then they went through this whole legal battle until Bill finally got the recognition that he deserves, and he got credit, first screen credit of Crow creating a Batman in Batman vs Superman, which is the best part of that whole movie, is just seeing Bill Finger's credit right before the movie
Ended up
starts.
getting the credit in 2015.
Yeah, which just when Batman vs Superman came out. So when you see that credit of Bill Finger, Batman co-created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger, that's when you turn the movie off because you already seen the best part of the movie.
So mean. So mean.
I remember when I first watched this documentary, I was like, "Oh crap!" That's the first thing that he gets his name on was that movie.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's fine. But
like,
there's going to be future Batman projects that are going to be better than that.
well,
so.
technically, what's it called? The granddaughter like said like that they had like some kind of rights in DC. Like they kind of had like some credit thing to it. Like they got paid for it, but like DC wanted to take like some of it away from her. Like it was for like it was a Dark Knight stuff.
It was basically they wanted her to sign this contract, basically not to pursue this again, close the case, and her grandfather, she would get a sum of money, but her grandfather wouldn't get the recognition. So she declined that offer. And good thing she did, because Bill Finger would have never got the recognition that he deserves. And, that would have been such a shame, And I think, I think if she did do that, she would have it in the back of her mind throughout her whole life, like, why did I do this? But luckily she didn't do that, so we don't have to speculate on that. But yeah, so I thought the saddest part of the whole movie, the thing that kind of got me, I got a little teary. I wasn't like bawling, but I got a little tear in my eye. Was when when Bill Finger died, they thought he was just an unmarked grave. No one took him. But at the end of the film, they later realized that Fred Finger, his son, took, got his body cremated, put him on one of the beaches. I think it was somewhere in California. I could be mistaken. Some beach somewhere. Basically drew out a Batman symbol, put his ashes in the Batman symbol, and let the ocean wash his ashes away. And I was like, wow, that was a really powerful woman.
Yeah, I was kind of like disgusted how like everyone like just said, oh, he got put in the unmarked grave section of this whole area. I'm like, really? He had a name, he had a family, so why wouldn't he get a proper burial area somewhere? But at the end, like I was kind of like disgusted how that was, but like Then they told a story about how Fred took him to the beach and everything. I was like, that's a better ending that I was hoping for.
Yeah,
This whole thing, I was like hoping, in my head, like they wouldn't even say he's still in the marked on grave area because it never were clear what happened
that's
to his
what I
body.
thought, and I thought they would never find his grave. It would be like just lost forever for all mankind, and you know it ended on a much more somber, happier note, and yeah, I got a little. That's when I got a little emotional. I was like, oh man, that was really cool. I thought that was a really neat moment. Um, Yeah, the contributions that Bill Finger brought to this character can't be more stated. I think more people need to know about Bill Finger. I think even today, people don't know Bill Finger. I think people know the name
Well, that's
Bob
been
Kane,
proof to
you
him
know, but they
since like
don't
the
really.
beginning, basically. So
Yeah,
Bill Finger is now fairly new. It's 6 years now that his name's now in like projected everywhere, other than just
hmm
here and there snippets. So
yeah,
like
no,
so now it's
yeah. So,
more of a household name than later on. Like before, it was. It wasn't.
yeah, it'll take a few years. I mean, it's already been a few years, but I think it'll take a few decades for people to really get to really know what it was about. I did really enjoy the animations that they put into this film. Like it was like basically like
Yeah,
comic
that was pretty nice.
panels, and they would progress Bill Finger's life and show the progression of the whole story through these comic book animations, and it was. I thought that was really neat. I liked how they incorporated that into the documentary, and it made it more visually appealing and captured the essence of Batman.
Yeah, it kind of gave you like more of like a. It kind of gave like more of like a thing to keep you attracted to the documentary, other than you just like zoning out for a little bit, just you guys
Yeah.
talking mostly. What the hell? And then it just ended. They did like these animations, like you said. It was pretty nice having it.
Yeah. So,
It did
what are your thoughts on this whole Bill Finger experience, the whole documentary?
my experience with it is that I like it. I feel intrigued by how this story is, but it made me feel depressed of like how this man was just put like
Fucked
just
over.
thrown away
Yeah.
and just made him vanish into dark depths of like this whole story.
Yeah, especially how, like you were saying before, they were friends prior to the creation of Batman, and just to kind of
Yeah,
throw your
it's
friend
disgusting.
into the gutter it is disgusting. Um, and Bob Kane is kind of the hero of the whole story. And if he was really Batman like, he would not have done that. That's not very
No,
Batman like.
and the fucked up thing was like actually when they're talking about how Bob Kane died and how he was buried, they have like a little plaque on there to discuss like how he is Batman and all this other stuff, and they're like, if he was Batman, he would have done better. He would actually
He's more like
done,
Two
yeah,
Face. You know,
he's a villain. He's
I
not
know,
a hero, and we've seen like what is it like we kind of seen it in some comics how Batman would put his friends as Bruce Wayne and like the line and try to get them going in something other than just forgetting about them. Like they even had like what is it they brings up like a lot like they had like what is it in like Hush they had like that one friend a friend of the family come by and he recognized them and said, oh yeah, this is a doctor that me and him have been close together throughout the years, and they always had each other's back with things until he finds out they're the villain. And it's weird. Like it's just like
Tommy
what?
Elliot, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Elliot, right?
So like it's
That's
like a little weird. Like yeah, he's more Two Face than a Batman. He didn't live up to his own character's like background or backstory in a way. Other than Bill
yeah,
Finger, he actually was the legit Batman through it all. And he don't forget he gave him
hmm
the nickname the Dark Knight too.
yeah. I mean, there's more to the list that he added to
Mm-hmm.
the Batman mythos that we haven't even listed off. I mean, we just kind of listed off the main things, but There's a lot more that he contributed to Batman. So basically, whatever you think of the baseline of Batman, what is Batman about? It's all Bill Finger. So I would put Bill Finger top billing over Bob Kane for the creation of Batman. All Bob Kane really did was put his name on other creators' works and claimed that it was his, and gave the name Batman. That's kind of all he did, you know. That's it. I could say I'll say Bob Kane, to give him credit. He is a good artist. You know, he did draw the Batman images, I think, for at least some of the comic books. I mean, he at least drew some Batmans that he signed. You know, I could say that I do. I do commend him for his artistry. I do like his style. He was good friends with Stan Lee. They would have like a rivalry with their characters, but you know, he didn't really deserve the credit.
Well, I just looked it up, see if they had like a book, and I remember in the movie that the Mark Old
it was like
Nobleman, he was writing a book simultaneously as he was doing this documentary.
Yeah, that was the whole point of his research, was for a book, because he was originally
if this documentary does not like give you everything you need,
read the book.
Read the book, because it's probably going to have more information that you would want to know about. Like if you don't like, it's probably like the biggest like book out there.
I am interested in reading the book. I'll have to see if I get my hands on it.
The book you can get on Amazon. Hardcover is $17.99. This book actually was put out in July 1st, 2012.
Oh, so wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was freaking 3 years before Bill got his recognition. Oh, wow. So that was probably him putting it out to the public, trying to get his recognition. So that probably was a big milestone to get the public behind him. That's crazy. I thought it would have came out like at the same year as this documentary, though. That's pretty cool.
But I like how that Mark didn't flunder his book.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't like say, "Oh, check out my book." He just said, "No,
it wasn't like
to me writing this book.
That's how I came in
more information."
Right.
It didn't like he wasn't just like book here, book in every shot, this and that. He's carrying the book everywhere. He didn't do that. He made you recognize Bill, not his book that he was pursuing.
Mm.
He didn't want. I don't think he even want.
It wasn't like a sales pitch.
Care.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think it wasn't really a sales pitch. He just mentioned his book. You know, that's how the whole inspiration for the whole search started. You know, it was a milestone for this whole search. And, you know, I think that actually made me more interested in his book than him, like, saying, buy it, you know? But, yeah, I would love to see this style kind of documentary go full-fledged with, like, the creation of Superman with Siegel and Schuster. You know, it wouldn't be, like, on the same lines of this. Are you torturing your cat over there? What are you doing?
That's all she's doing.
But I would be interested in seeing, like a documentary kind of in the same sort of style with Siegel and Schuster, the creation of Superman, because I know they got screwed over, not as immensely as Bill Finger did, but they sold the rights to DC for Superman for like $250, and you know after that, they didn't get paid for much of the contributions for Superman after, like, I don't know, after they stopped creating the comic books, which was like the 1950s or maybe earlier. So I would like to see this kind of style for them as well.
Yeah, let's see like if they actually have that come out like maybe in the next few years, maybe that'd be dope.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be cool. They're from Cleveland, Ohio, so
maybe you should start writing it.
No, I don't know. We'll have to go to Cleveland to do that.
Or
But
to
at least with the
HBO. I mean, let's talk to Hulu.
I mean, he did write a book, Boys of Steel, so it
Okay.
had some information about that. But yeah, with Cleveland, Ohio, once you walk the streets where like Superman was created, it has like the street signs are like Superman Way or something wherever Superman was created. I think that's pretty neat. You know, they show that in the documentary where he's like walking through Cleveland and stuff. I would like to see that something like that kind of be brought upon because I think even today, the Schuster Siegel families have been trying to combat Warner Brothers in some way, get more recognition than they did. I'm not exactly sure. I think they're trying to get more of like the residuals than anything. They already got the recognition, but you know they sold the rights to Superman for $250. So I mean, and he's a multi-billion dollar commodity now, you know, so or $1 million, I don't know. But imagine selling something like that for $250, you know.
What is this?
um,
I looked up the street signs, and I wanted to find like see what they look like and like how they did things with them. It's been a little weird,
they showed it in the documentary
but
a
like
little
it's
bit.
like
Um,
where is this site? Underneath Street. I don't think this is where this is Jerseyville, and Jerusalem is created one of the best known players. So it's like pretty neat because the signs are literally they're Superman like themed, and they have their names. Well, they have one guy's name on it. Now they don't. Oh, no, Lois. Was it Joseph Lane and Lois? Lois Lane.
Lois Lane, that's kind of neat. Do they have a Lois
There's a
Lane
lane.
street?
Hold on.
Like literally Lois Lane. It's a
Yeah, I'll
lane.
screen share
Yeah,
it. Give
can
me
you
a second.
screen share it? I want to see it. That's funny. I like that. All right, the
That's what
floor
I'm
is
trying to
yours.
do. I'm trying to remember what the link is.
I don't see anything. I just see a blue. Oh, there it is. Okay. Kimberly.
I think that's
I don't
the
know what
original
that
street
is.
name.
Jerry. Oh, that's the original name. Oh, I see. And then they have Lois Lane. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, yeah. I like how they have the Superman X's. No, that's
That's like
neat.
a neat little. Here you go. This is where you can find
Glenville
them.
Street signs. Yeah. It looks like they did that fairly recently because
Oh
those
no,
look pretty
this
new.
article is in
Instead of
2000. Well, yeah, it's fairly. It's in within like the 10 years.
so it's yeah. It looks like they yeah. Looks like they did it once that article came out because it says for the title, Glensville street signs just got a lot cooler. So just meaning pretty
Yeah.
present tense. No, that's cool. I like that. Well, I'll have to go there sometime. I do want to go to Metropolis, Illinois, too, where they have that Superman museum. The only correlation is just its name Metropolis, and they're like, oh, let's put Superman stuff. But Cleveland, Ohio is more of Superman's birthplace. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really much more I want to say about this documentary. You know, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a Hulu exclusive, so if you have Hulu, definitely check it out. I was just kind of browsing through it, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" And then I just started watching. I was like, "Oh, this is really great," you know. And now it's there's a happy ending after the dark cloud of Bill Finger not getting his recognition. There is a happy ending now. People know his name. The word's getting out there. His name is now printed on comic books, on the films of these characters. His name is out there.
Yeah, you are correct that it is just a Hulu exclusive. So anybody that's willing to watch this movie, just find a free description if you don't want Hulu, and just like watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do like the poster that they gave the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It looked like the animation. It looked like the same kind of style with the poster.
Right here. Let's see if I can make it bigger and share it. Okay, so there. Let me share it.
Yeah, there it is. It's pretty small, but I can see it.
Well,
It's gonna. It'll probably be the thumbnail to this video too once it's out there.
True.
So people will see it. So Matt, is there any final tidbits or words you want to say before we close this episode?
For me to explain anything more from this movie, this documentary is gonna be more of like a to you guys. So I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, you're almost better off just
talk for everything.
Yeah, just better off watching.
Just go and watch it and enjoy it, and it will give you everything that you want.
And then come back and leave a comment on your favorite part of what you learned from the documentary. Come back and watch this again. But yeah, I think I'm ready to close this episode. If you are, Matt.
Yeah, let's try this again.
Okay, let's try this. Hopefully we could do this in one take. So, okay, 3, 2, 1. This was Josh from BatYard Productions sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
And this is Superman's pal, Matt, becoming super friends, one episode at a time.
Wow, we did it in one take that time. I didn't even look. I didn't even look at the paper. That was amazing.
I slightly hiccuped, but it's okay.
It's okay. No, that was good. That was good. All right, guys. Well,
no paper.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even look at the paper. I didn't even have it written down. I got a hardly quick book. This is from Matt, by the way. I got a notebook.
I'm surprised you still have that.
Yeah,
I got it. Even full yet?
No, I only wrote on like a couple pages. I have that Daily Planet one too. I write some of the podcast notes on, but I like that notebook, so I'm trying to keep that one neat. This one I could just like write like crap, and it doesn't matter.
I like that you say my stuff I give you is crap.
No, I'm saying like I can write shittily on it. I'm trying to keep the Daily Planet one like neat looking. Not that this is not neat, but it's fine.
You're calling that one trash, and I don't like it.
It's legible. But yeah, okay. So I guess that's the episode. If you got any questions, comments, or whatever, let us know in the comments. All right, goodbye.
Bye.